passed in the National Assembly after 12 lawmakers from Yoon's own party joined the opposition.
President-elect Donald Trump emphasized grocery prices as a central theme in his 2024 campaign, pledging swift action to lower costs for American families if re-elected.
In an interview with Time magazine, where he was named Person of the Year, Trump acknowledged the difficulty of this promise, calling it a very hard task.
Luigi Mangione has enlisted veteran attorney and former New York City prosecutor Karen Friedman Agnifilo to represent him in his murder case. 16 people were hospitalized after 2 airboats collided in Florida, according to investigators.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission said officers responded to the crash near Ochope following a call at approximately 3:15 p.m.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged. The AI news pronunciations are getting worse. I don't know if you've noticed. I certainly noticed. That's you. Look, I'm backstage, I'm on the stage, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere you don't want me to be. It's kind of like American Express.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Yeah.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy?
Yeah,
we've got sit-down comedy.
Am I a little whiter than normal? I can't tell. My eyes are going.
You make me laugh.
You know. Ooh, that's a little ready. I'm a little ready. I'm like Helen ready. Except I'm not Helen. I'm Hell. Something. I don't know. What difference does it make? Blah, 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 blah. Pleasant good morning to you from the old curmudgeon who plays radio host every morning, according to somebody who I named Hamburger. His name is Hamburger. Jesus. I was going to call him Cheeseburger because Hamburger is just bland. Anyway, it is Friday. No, it's Monday. No, but it's Friday. It's Monday, December 16th, 2024. Right? It's Monday. Nothing like waking up on a Monday morning and seeing Nuke trending with something like this. Yeah, according to people on Twitter, Israel nuked Syria. Now, Israel did not nuke Syria. That's a bunker-busting bomb hitting a ammunition dump in Syria somewhere. But it certainly looked like a nuclear bomb. And it registered on the Richter scale. I'm not sure, like, how big. But you know what? You don't want to see nuke, especially after a weekend of people talking about how drones were really looking for nukes. If you're not following the whole drone saga, and is it just me, or is it coincidence that every time Nazis are about to take control of the world, that we have Martians in New Jersey? War of the Worlds, Orson Welles was just as the Nazis were taking control over in Germany, and now we have them here, but it's always New Jersey? Whatever. Anyway, in that whole thing, there was conjecture that these drones are actually surveillance drones looking for radiation detection because some foreign enemy, possibly Iran, has got some dirty bombs loaded up for us. Now, Joe Rogan posted a thing from a guy who claimed to be a CEO of a drone manufacturing company, but the guy was not, he seemed like Joe Dirtbag, MAGA, scumbag, not the CEO of a drone company. But anyway, Joe Rogan posted this video where the guy said he knew he had a discussion with a guy, an unknown guy from Ukraine, who said there was a warhead missing and that was headed to the United States, and they knew about it. And you're full of shit. They're also talking about, the United States is itching for a war with Russia, which is not the case. Russia owns the United States now. Putin got himself a president again. Why would he want a war with the United States? And why would the United States, the puppet of Putin, who's coming in, want a war with him? It just doesn't make any sense. Snap out of it, you idiots. What the drones are, or what the sightings are, who the fuck knows? Nobody knows at this point. But you can guess, and we can come up with all sorts of nonsense conjecture from people who don't know. I got an idea. Maybe it's this. That's your idea. Sit with it for a while. Think about it. We don't know. And I can tell you this, panic doesn't serve anybody's rational thought processes. So I don't think it's aliens. I do think the United States government knows about them. Why they don't shoot them down is probably something to think about, because certainly they don't seem like to be that hard to shoot down. I don't know about that, but it's not like I go out shooting down drones every day, but they don't seem to be supersonic or moving all that fast that it would be all that difficult to shoot them down. So you can draw whatever conclusions you want from the fact that they're not shooting any of them down and just letting them be, that, maybe the government knows about them. Maybe they're part and parcel to them being up there. Now, New Jersey isn't the only place now. We've seen some on the West Coast, and you know what? It's just, it's exhausting. Isn't it exhausting? I almost want to see something like this. I kind of, every day I think it would be a good day to die. But that's not how I want to die. I don't want to fry. I don't want to be incinerated. Although it could end up getting me a Nobel Peace Prize 80 years after I'm dead. Like the people from Hiroshima experienced. I don't know. Anyway, we have a show for you today, unfortunately. Unfortunately, if you are one of these people who just loves to bash and be negative about other people doing shows, bothers you that other people are doing shows because you're only doing 2 a week and you're kind of in love. This is kind of like a passive-aggressive jab at somebody who is just in love with 90s radio, or an obsessed stalker of 90s radio people like Opie and Anthony and Howard Stern and Stuttering John and Jackie Martling and these kind of people. It's unhealthy, man. It's kind of like a Rupert Pupkin type of attitude. I don't know if you know who Rupert Pupkin is. It's Robert De Niro in The King of Comedy, who was an obsessed stalker of Jerry Lewis, who was the king of comedy in the movie. Anyway, I digress. So we have a show for you today. We have an author who is a marketing director who grew up in a pizza family. I don't know if she grew up in New York in a pizza family, but she went to work basically for Big Pharma, I think, or Big Healthcare, as a marketing director, and then started her own firm, and then went back home and saw that her family pizzeria could use a little marketing help, and then she decided to write a book about it. That will be in hour 1, and it's hour 2. We have Jeffrey Weinstein, who is a stand-up comic from Montreal, Canada. Jeffrey has been on the program before. He's not related to Eric or Brett Weinstein, and frankly, I don't remember much about his comedy. I'm sorry about that. It's been like 4 years, I think, but I know he's been on the program before. I think my Rabbi Tom Yeah, you're saying, well, yeah, I didn't know you were Jewish. I didn't know I was Jewish either. But I think my Rabbi Tom may have had some opinions about Jeffrey when he was here. I think. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, you know what? Tom is kind of probably lurking. I think Tom's been lurking lately. He's like, kind of like, oh, what's going on over there? Oh, yeah. I'm not, but keeping quiet. Anyway, before we get to the dog pound, I want to tell you about something. What do I want to tell you about? I want to tell you about Daily High Club, right? All dependable Daily High Club, because I like to get high daily, and you should like to get high daily too. And if you need bongs, papers, what else can you use besides water pipes, ice pipes, pipety peepity pipes, one hitters? I don't know what else is in the. You know what? I should subscribe and get the box, shouldn't I? Anyway, they have special deals right now. 20% off for your Christmas box. Check it out, Daily High Club. You know, and we talk about giants of the stoner world. All right, let's go Giants. They might be giants.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me right now are Ron Drone Master Kane, Stephen Drone Master Sitcom Ortiz, and the one and only drone alien G.D. Fenderson, who's over 40 and doesn't know he's not funny, by the way.
Oh, good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. And congratulations to our winner, Kevin Moore, who won 2 tickets to see Fresh Brewed Comedy on Friday, January 24th, in the Middle Room at Governor's. He was the one who shared the most, actually, he tied with, I'm not making this name up, Paula Dean. So I had to do a random drawing, but it's not that Paula Dean, because I don't think she'd come to New York just to see little old black old me and little crippled guy and Ron. She wouldn't do it now. Not that Paula Dean. So it was a tie. I had to have a random drawing. Kevin Moore, I've already notified him. He's excited. I could tell by the bulge in his camera. So congratulations. And we'll be doing it again. We'll be doing another contest to share again, but we're going to make it longer instead of just one weekend. We're going to make it, we're going to elongate it. So it'll be exciting and happy.
Love when it's long.
Yes. Oh, MindDogTV.com. Enjoy the suffering.
Yeah. My merchandise, Baba Chuba. I feel cheated. I feel like there's, I don't know, some shenanigans going on with this contest. First of all, I don't recall ever hearing there was a time limit on this thing. I didn't even start. I was going to start sharing today because I really wanted to win that. I did not know.
You can win the next one. You can win the second one.
But the first one, you didn't announce a deadline for it to be over.
Yes, I did.
Did he?
Yes, I did.
Did you guys hear? Did you guys up there?
Inside me.
That's right.
I do schlong division.
Schlong division. Yeah, and if you
divide your here we go. Here's the deal.
Divide your schlong by 18.
I did not say that there was a dedeadline, but I did say I was announcing the winner on the 16th. So that to me implied a deadline.
Could have been. Could have had 12 more hours, 15 more hours before.
Yeah, that's true. But I think I said by Sunday night. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. You can't sue me for something that I make up the rules as I go along, because I'll just change the rules in court.
There are strict rules about contests, and especially internet contests.
Nope, it's not an internet contest. Well, it's not an internet contest. It was a sharing contest.
It's an intimate contest.
Yes, an intimate. Thank you.
Your math question 6, Matt, you said 18 divided by your schlong. Would that be 6 or 2?
I don't know. I'm not good at schlong division. I failed that.
Yeah.
In school.
It's really hard for me to swallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like the foot-long Mine Dog wiener. Not a hamburger, by the way.
Available at minddogtv.com.
I don't think we
Yes.
sell
It's not.
food.
It's not.
We don't sell food. I probably should stop eating food with all the ass cancer and stuff. I should probably never eat again.
Just drink.
Yeah. The drone theory. It just never ends. You guys, are you guys following the drone story? Or
Well, the people who think that they should be shot down are not thinking this through. If they're over a populated area and you shoot down something the size of an SUV, it's going to land somewhere. Actually,
on a Jersey person, who cares?
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter how big it is. It doesn't matter how big it is. If you shoot it down, it's going to land somewhere. But I'm just saying.
On Jersey. In Jersey. Come on.
Yeah,
so what? We can afford to lose. Yeah.
But some of them are flying over New York. It's just not a part of New York we care about because it's so close to Jersey.
Oh.
I don't know, man. It's clearly not aliens. It's clearly not anything supernatural.
No, wait a minute. See, now you say clearly, like, things that, first 2 weeks ago, they're here. Now it's not aliens. You don't know anything. You can't say clearly. It was probably not aliens. Almost definitely not.
Okay, you're right. Most likely not aliens.
Right.
Okay. Because I mean, all the UFO sightings I've ever researched, they don't have like traffic lights. They don't wait for you to watch them. They don't let you hang out. They do their own thing. These things are clearly working in grids. These things are clearly moving around. They don't want things to crash into them. They don't want to crash into things. It's who knows. And then the dirty bomb theory I've heard. I mean, at this point, I don't know. I just wish the federal government would just.
If I could bust your balls a little bit here, I think I can. I think I've earned the right to bust your balls a little bit here, because the Pentagon, people who you have followed their testimony and all that kind of stuff, Pentagon came out this weekend and said these things are not overtly. They're not. Well, they didn't say not overtly. What they said was they're not from the United States and they're not from any other country. What the hell?
Right. So that's spooky. That's spooky, and obviously that leads into a number of things it could be. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, man.
One's
given answers.
If you read between the lines, if I understand you correctly, you said they're not ours, like the government's, but they're not from other countries. Then they could be from this country, which will not be another country, and it would not be the government's. So they may be private.
They could be
private.
Yeah, they could be being truthful in it being a private thing like EG&G or Skunk Works at Lockheed Martin or something like that for sure.
I stopped following this story days ago because it's obviously ours, and I don't know why we're playing around.
Ours, not mine. Yours?
Not the government. It's so obvious.
I agree. It has. I mean, they don't want to shoot him down, even if they're over, like even the ones over water, like.
Yeah, but then they're polluting. And this is
we shot down balloons. We shot down fucking balloons when they were floating over the U.S. And now that we have a bunch of autonomous drones flying around,
you just said it. You just said it. They were fucking balloons. And if you don't stop them from fucking, they'll make more balloons. And then you have like 12, 14, 16 of those little bastards flying all over the place. So you got to stop them. They were fucking balloons. These are not fucking drones. They're
refresh my memory, if you will. What was the deal? They said they were Chinese spy balloons, right? Was that correct, or am I?
That's what was said. Was they were some sort of spy balloons because they had surveillance equipment on them.
All right. And did we buy that story? We just all right, that's good enough.
I don't know, because when it happened, when they shot down a balloon in Roswell, they had a whole photo op and everything. So this didn't have any of that.
It was a long time ago.
That's true. But I mean,
it also depends on where it lands. It may land to a place where it's not worth the effort to get somebody out there to take pictures.
I think this is just a test. I think this is just a test. You see how people respond, and you test. You see how people respond. See how the media responds. And,
this is just a test. Had it been a real drone emergency, you would have been notified to stick your head up your ass.
Well, no, next year you'll start to see them a little more. I mean, it's just, to me, it seems so obvious, and we're still talking about this, and it's like, Really, you can't see what's happening in front of you.
I can't see what's happening in front of me. Is something
It's
happening
those
in front of me?
glasses. You need your up to prescription if you can take it with
I have like 9 pairs of glasses now. Because last time I didn't lose my glasses. One of the lenses fell out, so I ordered like 9 pairs just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, the next upgrade for the drone will be it'll fly over neighborhoods and it'll just say,
"I'm coming for you."
That would be cool. If they are aliens, they're really small. They're much smaller than we ever imagined they would be. Like they're like this big.
Well, they had to be small because in order for them to accommodate space travel from that distance, they need a lot of food. So the spaceship has to be mostly food, which means they cannot be that big if they're going to survive off of it. So it'd be about the size of mice. So they can just nibble, and then have
nibble.
And little poops that would just jettison out.
Watch it when you say nibble like that.
That was close. It was close, man.
Yeah. Because it sounds like there's somebody in my neighborhood. Nibble.
Matt, whatever you're doing in your neighborhood does not need to be brought on this show.
No.
And that's going door to door saying it. That's their version. That's their version of a Christmas carol. They stand out on the corner singing nibble.
We don't like them here. Go away, you N-words. And then on to the next house. Yeah. I can see that.
Wow, gave me a lot to think about there.
And another source of income.
It looks like our first guest is standing us up, or me up, or us and me and you, or all of us together. It seems like this is happening way too often again. This is an author who, again, was a marketing director, went back home to a pizza shop, noticed her family's pizza place needed some marketing help. She wrote a book about it. Now, I don't know if she's from New York, so if she's not from New York, it's not real pizza, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But I do so much work. I basically find out how to mispronounce the name, and
you do a lot of work. You cut and paste from the bio.
And I gotta make the book graphic too. The book graphic is not just easy to pop in like that. That's what it looks like. So I did all that work, but you know what? I have to schedule a thing. My Sunday morning after church, that takes an hour and a half or so. That's a lot of, I charge $190 an hour, so I think she owes me $190 now for that hour. That whatever I did. No. Anyway, I'm just tired of it. But you know what? It wasn't real pizza anyway. It probably wasn't from New York, and probably if it's not from New York, it's not real pizza. No wonder they need marketing help.
I do have some video of a Trump advisor that was giving a speech. If you haven't seen this,
does it have to do with pizza?
Oh no! What are you? I'm forgetting my word. Oh no! What are you? I'm forgetting my words. But impeachment.
The audio is not loud on this. There's not much to hear, but
he had a stroke?
I was waiting for that. I was gonna say, is he having a stroke or something?
Oh no! What are you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a stroke or what, but
So
it may have been. His name is, what the fuck is his name?
His name is Mud.
Yeah. The way he was talking, because I know the audio was very low, it's tough to hear, but he starts talking and then he starts like mumbling. His name is Alex Berwishitz, I guess. I'm not sure how you say his
Russian?
last name. But he's
They're actually just letting the Russians right into the White House now. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I thought I heard him say, I can't remember my words or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
He seemed a little young to be having a stroke. I mean, some young people do occasionally.
It could be an homage to Mitch McConnell.
Did you notice the guy that was flashing the picture after he went down?
Show one more time.
Yeah, all right. So Yeah, so here he is talking.
Forgetting my words.
Yeah, he's saying I'm from forgetting my words. Then right there.
Jack came from the grassy knoll.
It seemed like that podium was like made of something really weak or something, like balsa wood or something. It would just went down, not like you would, it didn't make a
it's tall.
crashing sound.
It's kind of tall also, so it doesn't. It's not the balance. You know what I'm saying? The center of balance is kind of high, so when he leans on it, it's going to go.
Yeah, that's 200 pounds of dead weight right there when his body shuts down.
He kind of looks
Did,
like.
what now? Did the news offer any explanation about that? Nothing. It was just like
no.
They said he fell over and gravity took the rest.
All right. Looks like our guest is here, but she doesn't have a camera on yet. I'm going to see if she can get the camera turned on before we bring her in. Did you guys hear anything about this supposed nuke, which wasn't a nuke?
Yeah, it's definitely
Didn't
not.
care.
I saw it. Yeah.
You don't care? If it was a nuke, you wouldn't care. I mean, it does. I don't think it was a nuke.
I didn't care.
You really don't care if it was a nuke?
I said I didn't think it was a nuke, so I didn't care.
Oh, you didn't think it was a nuke, but you weren't curious to say, well, was it a nuke? Because it certainly looks like a nuke with the
a lot of explosions like that look like that. I mean, if you hit a munitions dump or munitions, then I'm more concerned about the rumor that there's a missing warhead from Ukraine.
Yeah,
because
that's the rumor I heard that made me nervous too.
I don't believe that.
Well, no, I know. See, I already knew what it was. That warhead was actually malfunctioned, and they were returning it back to the Acme Ordnance Company. You remember the coyote? They got their warheads the same place.
Acme.
Yeah, so they were returning it back to the Acme Ordnance Company, and it's no coincidence that is like AOC. It's no coincidence that it's a leftist company, AOC, and so that's the whole thing. That's the real conspiracy.
The year was 1960, everyone, and we were talking about Acme, which is a reference to an old racist cartoon of.
Oh my gosh!
Let's be fair. I think it was closer to 1967. Don't you're going back too far, a little too far there. Our guest has the camera on, so it's time to bring her in. I'm going to screw up her name. Just like, you know what? I think the AI guys are mocking me.
Okay, when you get
AI
to her
news
name,
guys.
When you get to her name, don't say anything, and I'll do the AI version, and then you pick it up after that.
Yeah, because you speak Italian better than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the AI guys are mocking me. I think every time they I don't know if you caught the news this morning, but there were like 3 different mispronunciations of the same last name. Anyway, I'm going to take a shot here. I'm starting with a name, so I can't.
Okay, then I'll do it my AI thing. Erica D'Arcangelo.
Is it D'Arcangelo? I would have said D'Arcangelo. See, now we'll ask her. She's a marketing executive. Another person like me not like me. She's not like me. I don't mean to insult her in that way. But went to school for communications and with minoring in journalism and ends up being in marketing. It's a thing now. Everybody who went to school for communications ends up being in marketing for some reason. But she went home to her hometown and where she grew up, her family had a local pizza place, pizzeria. And noticed they need some marketing help, and she wrote a book about it, and she's here now to talk about it. Let's welcome in Erica. Wait a minute, here now. These guys are going to bust my chops about the layout, but every time somebody comes in, the whole thing screws up. Good morning, Erica. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, how do you pronounce your last name?
D'Arcangelo.
I was right. Look at that.
I said I was doing the AI version. Did you not hear me say I was doing the AI version?
No, I didn't say you were wrong. I said I was right, which is a surprise.
Oh, that's
it's stunning whenever I get it right. And I do have Italian roots. It's just like names. I'm not good with names. Anyway, can I ask where the pizza place? Now, do you call it a pizza shop, pizzeria, pizza restaurant, Italian restaurant? What do you call it?
A pizza shop, pizzeria.
Okay. What part of the country?
Okay, so it's a little coal mining town called Wimber, Pennsylvania. It's right outside Pittsburgh.
So it's not real pizza then, right?
I mean, my grandfather was from Italy, so I think it's real pizza, but it's in a very interesting place because my grandfather immigrated here from Abruzzo, Italy.
Ah, but Italy doesn't know real pizza either. You got to be from New York to know. Italy just copied off of Brooklyn. Brooklyn is where pizza was born. I don't know if you're aware of that. I'm wrong.
I
I'm
wasn't.
just lying. Anyway, let me show the book and talk about. Now, I don't know if you heard, but I think a lot when you go to school for journalism, you're not intending to be a marketing person. That's not the idea when you signed up for school, right?
No, not at all.
Why do so many people who go for communications and journalism end up in marketing? Do you think? Do you have any theories on that?
At the time for me, I had just finished college and then I was asked to kind of do a PR job and it was in healthcare marketing. And so I decided to take that job and it kind of just led me into opening my own business.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right. Now, noticing your your family pizza shop, pizzeria, struggles with marketing. How do you go about adjusting that? Like in today's world, I don't see a lot of local pizza places doing a whole lot of marketing. I mean, local press and stuff like that, but that's about it. You don't see them like doing a lot of, and does it even pay to do digital marketing or like what a lot of small restaurants do? What was your approach to figuring out their problem?
So I would go there with my dad and my dad would work. He was just recovering from heart surgery. So we would kind of drive in together and we'd leave together. And I was just, looking around, looking at the pictures, looking at the old relics. And then I started to do TikTok videos of cutting pizza. So if you go to DRX Pizza on TikTok, we ended up having a viral page. I went to bed one night, posted a video of someone cutting pizza, woke up the next day and we had a million views. And then just kept posting these, and some of our biggest videos, we have one with like 64 million views on it.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? I can't figure out the different platforms. Maybe you can give us some insight into what makes, because what makes something popular on TikTok when it's not popular on Facebook or YouTube or something like that, or the other way around. Different types of videos that have different kind of traction. Do you have any insight into that?
I mean, TikTok's its own animal. So you have like the ASMR videos. And so that seemed to be really popular, was just like the sound of cutting a pizza. And I mean, they sell over 100 pizzas every night that they're open. So I would just stand in the kitchen and I would just film pizza cutting after pizza cutting. And then that's what I posted. And people just seemed to go crazy for them on TikTok.
Now, the people that are buying the pizzas, are they buying them to listen to the pizzas or are they buying them to eat?
I mean, they're buying them to eat, but people are seeing them on TikTok and then they're coming in to eat them.
Oh,
Is
okay.
there
Okay.
any?
So these aren't the ASMR people buying the pizza. So we're gonna make our own pizza at home. I mean, make our own video at home. We're gonna get that same authentic sound.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
go
here's
ahead.
my question.
Hmm.
Yeah, TikTok is worldwide, and I'm assuming the pizza doesn't deliver in like Ukraine. Let's just say. So
No.
how do
Yeah.
you measure like the bottom line of okay, a million views on TikTok, but how does that translate into actual business for the restaurant?
I mean, every year that we were doing social media, the business doubled. And then I think we're on our sixth year now. So they're open like 4 days a week. And there's a lot of times that they're full. There's a line out the door. And that wasn't the case before we started doing the digital media. And, we have people that have been coming in there their whole lives. It's been open for 65 years. But then we have people who were like, hey, I saw you guys on TikTok or I saw you on Instagram.
That's so weird.
Now, but this is in Italy. This
No,
this
no, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
this is in Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you said I misunderstood because I thought it said you went back to your home and I thought it was Italy, but you went back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, I lived in Tampa. I ran a marketing agency there. I went back to Pennsylvania, but my family is from Abruzzo, Italy. That's where my grandfather immigrated from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah,
So the pizza shop is in what part of PA?
It's called Wimber. It's a little coal mining town.
Okay,
You
because
know that one, Ron? Ron's from PA.
Are you?
No?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
Nice.
Uh,
Are
so
you
now,
since you're
oh, go ahead.
doing the TikTok thing, are you worried about the ban that's coming, the possible ban that's happening in January?
You know, a little bit, but like on Instagram, there's an account, it's at pizza, and that account has helped us a lot. Like he started collaborating with us on a lot of different videos. So we ended up being able to grow our audience a lot on Instagram after TikTok went viral. So we also have a lot from Instagram right now.
Yeah, just on that TikTok thing, I think Trump has flip flopped on that and is now positive on TikTok, and
and he got
you know
money.
that. So
He
yeah, so
received
the
a donation.
Republicans are going to drop that whole TikTok ban thing. I think if they haven't already. Who knows where that's going? Ron is our resident TikTok guy, and his algorithm is not pizza. It sounds like ASMR, but it's a little different. Um, Anyway, so the book now. The book is a story about that homecoming, or is it a marketing book? Tell us about the book.
So the book, funny enough, it has nothing to do with marketing. It's just my
Okay.
grandfather's journey from being an immigrant who came over from Abruzzo, came into New York. He went into the coal mines. He was pulled out of school when he was like 14 or 15 years old. His family was very poor. He was a coal miner. He had this dream of opening this pizzeria his whole life. And then it goes through this transition of his life from being a coal miner to kind of figuring out how to open this pizzeria.
Coal miner. Wow.
Now, with
Um,
his level of education, then, because you say he basically stopped being formally educated at the age of 14.
Yeah.
So how did he get the business savvy to run a business without running into the ground? Because I'm somewhat educated and I cannot get a business on the ground to even start getting it to run it into the ground.
yeah.
You know, he was an incredibly hard worker and he didn't make a lot of money in the mines, but he just saved and saved and saved and saved. And then when the coal mines closed, he and my grandmother thought, okay, we're going to open a local market. And they would have just, local food, deli meat, that kind of thing. And then one day they weren't really making ends meet. They decided to start making pizza out of the market. And the next thing you knew, the pizza place opened up and here we are 65 years later.
65 years later. So that, you're younger than I am, because I think back to my grandparents coming to America, and now I'm thinking 1895. It's really, so did you know your grandfather well?
My grandparents were older, like when I was born, like they were always older. So my grandfather
Right.
passed away, I think, when I was about 20 years old. But, my dad was born into the pizzeria. There's 5 kids in my family. We were all born there. And my mom worked there. My dad worked there. And it was the family business. And so at 8 years old, we were in there folding boxes and we used to get paid 10 cents a box. And then we were making pizzas and then we were running the ovens and we waitressed. And so our whole family was like, that was our culture was being in the pizzeria.
Wow. Is there a heavy segment of Italian Americans in where you were from in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, absolutely. So the east end of Wimber, which is like a very small town, the whole east end is called Little Italy. And so there's a bunch of different restaurants. There's one called Rizzo's, there's one's called Leone's Subs, and these places have been open for, I think Leone's has been open maybe like 75 or 80 years. And then on the other side of town, you have like the Irish, the Slovakians, and it was funny because during the time where people worked in the coal mines, the management didn't want the two different people to mix. And so they put one, area on one side of town and they put the Italians on the other side of town. And that was the way they had it until they formed the union.
Wow.
They didn't
That's
want them to mix
interesting.
because of what they thought they might unionize. They didn't want to mix because they didn't want the babies to be like Italian, Irish,
No, they didn't want them to unionize and they didn't want them to talk about the different things that were happening in the mines.
Right. I'm just thinking back because you mentioned 65 years ago. That happens to be just around the time I was born. So it's a whole different perspective on the Italian American immigration, because I know from the New York, again, the turn of the century, talking about the 20th century, the turn of the century immigration and Lower Manhattan and Little Italy there and all that kind of stuff. In 1959 or 1960, when we're talking about, things were much different. The United States was not the same. It was already there was a there was a lot of Italian Americans, lots of different communities already then. So I'm trying to kind of picture that era of coming up into the Mad Max, the Madison Avenue marketing type of era when we're talking about your family's coming to America. Interesting stuff. It's a whole different experience, which I've never really considered before. Now, the book, is it like is it a memoir? Is it how would you describe the book?
I'd say it's historical fiction. It's a memoir as well. I mean, it really follows my grandfather's life. I wouldn't say that every single thing is fact checked. I mean, my grandfather had passed away a long time ago, and I talked to the living relatives that we had. My father had a lot of information, and I was able to go through a lot of stuff, at the business where they kept a lot of pictures and they're all up on the wall. And so I was able to kind of trace the roots a little bit there.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to fact check family history, like because you're gonna get a lot of different cousins saying different things, right? Do you have a lot of cousins? Because as on my Italian side of my family, there are people I don't know and still haven't met 65 years later. But you're gonna get various different accounts. Like that's not the way I remember it, right? A lot of that kind of stuff. So now, was this an enjoyable process of writing a book?
Yeah, it was pretty beautiful. I had a really nice time doing it. The only thing was is after I finished, I wasn't really sure what to do with it, so I just sort of let it sit for like 4 months. So, and then I decided to publish it after 4 months.
Right. Well, you have an advantage over most people who are in publishing in that you understand marketing enough to kind of. But the publishing business, and I should ask, are you self-published or is this on a traditional publishing
So for this
company?
book, I decided to self-publish.
Okay. Is that the learning curve in the publishing business and finding out what the publishing business, the state of the publishing business now as a professional marketer, were you astonished by some of the insanity that goes on in the publishing world right now?
Oh, I was shocked. I mean, I learned a lot from publishing this first book of just like what to do, what not to do, what marketing works. Like there are so many ins and outs of this that I hadn't experienced before doing traditional marketing for 20 years.
Right. Having done some work for publishing companies, that's rigged, and I don't know. I hate to like blow the cover off or the lid off of the way it's rigged, but in the publishing industry now, especially in digital publishing, digital retail of books, the idea of getting your book listed as a number one, there are so many different bot techniques or ways of artificially boosting a book's publicity or popularity that it's really a rigged game. And if you don't understand that, no matter how well you've written the book, nobody's going to see it. And I'm just wondering, is that soul killing? Like as you're writing the book, you said it was an enjoyable process, and I could see, wow, I really enjoyed that. Now I don't. Now I got to find out. I got to get in the mud with all this nonsense. And does that kill your drive to write another book or even continue down the authorship path?
No, funny enough, I was sitting with my friend and I decided that I was going to make a children's series based very loosely on the book. And so I'm doing 8 books and I finished the first children's book just a few days ago, but I have a lot more of an idea of what I need to do to promote it. And thankfully with this book, I've run Facebook ads, I've done PR, so I've been able to consistently sell this book since it came out,
How long has it been out?
since the 15th of August.
Wow. And reviews. You get now. Who's reading the book? Do you keep track of demographics and who is it? Old guys like me, because old guys like me love pizza, and we love to hear about Italian American history.
So the older demographic is the number one demographic, and I think it's a lot of people that have been coming into the pizzeria since it opened in 1960, or the children of those people. And then, we have a lot of Italian Americans. Like thankfully, we have a video production company, so we were able to make a book trailer about Italian history, and so we have a lot of people reaching out just from the book video and then buying the book and just hearing their stories of how their families immigrated here and just their culture and their, how they make pizza. That's been the best part of it.
Now, I'm curious about your children's book. Does the children's book glorify child labor? Because your entire family grew up pretty much, not violating child labor laws, because back then they probably didn't. Well, you're only 20, 25 years old. So I guess we had some child labor laws back then, but so
yeah, you look very young. I have to say, I know you can't be young, as young as you look because of your experience, but you have a very
I have a
youthful
17-year-old, so.
So you're 30. Okay.
Yeah, 30. All right. Yeah, no, that's a pretty good observation, I guess.
I have a 17-year-old also, but they're tied up in the back because they won't shut up.
Oh, listen, I understand. Believe me.
Wow. Yeah. The children's book market is also very saturated. Now, every day I get marketing app people, sending me spam mail about this is the latest boom children's books, and I'm like, really? It's reading, and children especially, but I think older women are reading books, but beyond that, we've come to a point where literacy is like, who needs it? I can read social media posts one sentence at a time. That's all. That's my attention span. What is the children's book market? Is there really a huge market for children's books, or is it kind of books where parents read to their children type of thing?
I will tell you on the book side, I'm so new at this. On the marketing side, it's just for me a study of the demographic and just putting it in front of the people that I think will be interested in it. And that's what I did with this book. And that's how I'll promote the children's book. And then just being on, great shows like this and talking to libraries and talking to bookstores and a lot of PR and a lot of networking. I mean, it takes 100 times the work that you think it's going to take to make your book sell and to make your book popular.
Yeah. Question out of left field. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay, I personally don't think that it does, but I'm not going to turn it down.
Okay. Is there anything that I know you're not running the restaurant here, but is there anything you would refuse to put on pizza?
My mom loves anchovies on pizza. I don't like anchovies on pizza. I don't think I can do it.
It's so weird how
honestly
should be subjected to that.
Anchovies with pineapple is a really good combo. Just saying.
It's so weird how you can like the sauce and the gravy thing. You can get Italian Americans fired up to the point of wanting a fist fight over things like this. But pineapple on pizza is one of those things. It's very curious to me. Now, your specialty, was it Napolitan or was it Sicilian? What kind of, or is there a specialty? You make it all.
So the traditional tray is a rectangular tray. It's 15 slices. And then many years later, my brother wouldn't eat a rectangular pizza. So we made a thin round pizza called Mike's Pie. And we have that pie too.
Wow. Now around the country, pizza is very different. I mean, if you go to LA, they think a Pizza Hut is like the standard or something. Like that's real pizza. What makes the difference regionally? Do you have any insight into that? Like what makes the difference between perceptions of what's good pizza?
Your childhood.
Yeah, I think where people have come from and the pizza that they've, created and brought over, because you have like the New York pizza, you have the Chicago pizza, you have the artisan pizza, and it's really just a matter of almost like region.
Yeah.
Chicago
Now, I'm curious
pizza is
about.
not pizza. Chicago pizza is casserole. That is not pizza.
He's from Alabama, by the way. So
Well, I was born in South Bend, just raised in Alabama. And second, I do know that Chicago pizza is not pizza.
see now, Chicago pizza people would argue very much that Godfather Pizza, all that kind of stuff is the real deal. And New
Giordano's,
York,
all them, but it's not. It's like 8 inches thick. Okay, it's got as many layers as a lasagna. Like, it's a fucking casserole, dude.
Wow.
You have to eat it. Yeah, exactly. It's a novelty. It's cool. It's like, yeah, Chicago style pizza, but you can't eat it on the street. You can't eat it on the go. You have to have a plate and fork and knife. It's not pizza. It's
wow.
not.
Now, Erica, I'm curious about the Mike Pizza. Now, your brother's name is Mike, and that's why it's called the Mike Pizza.
Yep.
Okay, what did rectangles do to him to make him not want to eat a rectangular pizza anymore? It had to be round. I mean, it sounds like a traumatic experience. Did he cut his finger on the edge of a square pizza, or did he get lodged in his throat?
He's the youngest of 5, and he was the baby of the family, and he just wouldn't eat a square pizza, and I don't know why, but
Did he start off eating it and then decided, like at age 5, I can't do this anymore? I'm a grown man. I'm 6. I'm grown. I don't eat square. I just do round.
He was basically like, I think as a baby it was fine because we all pretty much grew up on eating the pizza, and then all of a sudden he just decided one day that he would only eat a round pizza. So my mom started, of course, making it for him, and then
Of course,
he
yeah.
liked it so much we just decided to add it to the menu.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? I had the opposite experience of your brother. I grew up on round pizza, and when I was in my teen years, became a fan of Sicilian pizza because there was one place in the local town that I was that has been emulated by a lot of people. It's won like awards and all that kind of stuff. People get hung up on who makes the best pizza, and there's like pizza wars and all that. Interesting stuff.
I don't even care about the shape of the pizza as long as it tastes good. Matter of fact, I don't even care what you call it. I don't care what you call anything. If it tastes good on my plate, I'm eating it, and we can fight over the name later. Like Chicago pizza, if it tastes good, I'm eating it.
I know. Like growing up, my mom got me into pizza early when she started covering my dad with marinara sauce and would lick it off of him. It really got her into pizza.
I don't think marinara sauce is a thing on pizza. I don't know why you.
Well, it is a thing. It may not be your thing, but it is a thing. You can buy pizzas with marinara sauce specifically. Right. Say, I want
and
marinara
now,
sauce.
People are more inclined now to dip themselves in ranch than anything.
Right. So, Erica, now at this point in your life, are you like the? Are you that? You got to be getting close. I mean, we're talking about 65 years ago. You are the history keeper of the family pizza shop at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been doing the marketing now for a long time, and I help my dad a lot. So yeah.
Oh, are you still there? You kind of left the corporate health and your own agency just to become full-time pizza marketer?
I mean, no, I have 3 marketing companies, and I help my father with this. I travel back and forth, and we're getting ready to we want to do a documentary on a family-owned pizzeria. So we're filming the first one here over Christmas break, and we're going to just, keep filming those because I really want to go into that a little bit more.
Now, I have a marketing question for you. The McDonald's in Altoona all of a sudden became very popular because they ratted out a suspect, someone on the run. Yep. Is there like a criminal that you like to lure to your pizza place so that you can rat them out to get more publicity?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not really familiar with criminals, but I think if we had someone who was famous in Italian, that probably wouldn't hurt us.
Okay.
I for a period of time was doing some work for a marketing company, and they decided to start a internet television show called Tasting New York, and going around to restaurants, sampling kind of stuff, and giving reviews on the spot of the pizza places did the best on. People love to watch shows based in making pizza, discovering all the different kind of pizzas. Like I recall the one place had 117 different pizzas. It's like, where did he come up with 117 different pizzas? Any interest in doing something like like a reality television show rather than necessarily a documentary? That kind of, because people seem to be. I mean, the numbers were insane on the pizza shows.
Yeah, yeah.
Any
I mean,
interest?
we're gonna film our own pizzeria coming up here in like 2 weeks, and I think after we get our footage and our interviews, we're gonna see where we're gonna go creatively with it.
All right.
Now, are you going to take in a neophyte, like show the training of a neophyte, or are you going to start with the experienced people and say, "This is how we've done it. This is our best guy," or or do you have a neophyte to actually video say, "This is how we train a newbie who's not Italian. He doesn't even know what dough is, and just going to start him from scratch, so to speak."
That'd be a good angle. I think we're gonna start with my dad and just the history of the pizzeria and, maybe a basic night, but like you go in there any night, it is crazy. I mean, you've got the phone ringing off the hook, you've got people coming in and out for takeout, you've got the dining room full, and it's just like the people working there are incredible. They're just like it's like a well-oiled machine when you walk in there.
Wow. Do you speak Italian at all?
I don't. I wish I did.
Your dad, does he speak Italian?
Yeah, he does a little bit. He actually just spent about, I think, 4 or 5 months in Italy because he was getting his citizenship. He was in Abruzzo with my mom. They just got back about a week ago.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, these guys up above have never seen. Well, Steven has now, but only after me prompting him for about 8 months to see the movie The Godfather. Are you familiar with the movie? Have you watched it?
My favorite
Is it
movie.
part of? Huh?
It's my that movie and Rocky. Those are my two favorite movies of all time.
Okay, good. And see, I like you now. These guys have never seen it, and they had some bad things to say about it, having never seen it.
No, I did not have bad things to say about it. I just have seen snippets. I don't have anything bad to say about something I've never seen.
I think you said it was boring too. I think you said it was boring. I think
no. How can I know it was boring if I never seen it?
I don't know. That's what I was questioning. How you could know that without seeing it, which is why I asked Steven to watch. Well, I asked all you guys to watch it. Steven said he actually liked it. But growing up, was it part of you? Was it part of the family culture? Like the Godfather is like the movie.
Yeah, every Sunday we had.
No, the question is.
Church, we had lunch, watched it.
The question is, in your family, is the Godfather documentary, entertainment, or gospel?
I think it's just entertainment for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my understanding, not having seen it, is different for different people. Some people it's documentary, some people it's the gospel, and some people it is just entertaining.
I like the first one. First one's my favorite one.
It's there are parts of it because your book is historical fiction. There are parts of it that are relevant, like the Ellis Island experience, especially this is in Godfather 2, with the Ellis Island experience of him coming over as a young kid. Because when my family came over here, there was a lot of confusion. My grandmother spoke very broken English, so the words they wrote down on the documents were all screwed up. A lot of names got messed up along the way. Any of that in your family history, or did you go back and were you able to actually kind of look into that experience of coming over?
I was able to look into that, and then also, once they were there, it was funny because in Wimber there started to be like a bit of like an Italian mafia, and so my father told me a story of how my great grandfather and grandfather were building their first house. They were kind of like carrying the stones, and the Italian mafia showed up and they wanted money, and so my great grandfather went into the house. He got a gun, and he basically came back out and was like, "Get off my property, or I'll kill you." And they never came back to the house after that.
I like him. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did they not stop in New York like a lot of Italians did in those days, and keep going to Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania? It's Pittsburgh. Why they continue on to Pennsylvania? Were there already a community there that they were headed for, or do you know that?
Yeah, so there were a lot of people from Abruzzo that actually came over to Wimmer because of the jobs with Berwyn White Coal Company. And so when my grandfather and his family came over, they had just joined a lot of the other very common names that, like, if you go to Abruzzo, there's a park and there's towers with these names etched into stone, and you'll see like there's so many of the same names that are still names of Wimber families.
All right. It's so cool. You know what? I want to stop by. I'll make a trip to Pennsylvania just for the pizza. But the book, I have the Amazon link in the description. I shortened it. We got a short link for Amazon. Is it that the only place it's available, or is it available in bookstores? And what's the? Because that's all I could find was the Amazon link. Is it available everywhere books are sold?
Yeah, anywhere books are sold. I mean, Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble. It's on Apple Books. It's if you just look up a story about pizza, there's a lot of different places that you can get it online, and we have a lot of bookstores right now. I don't necessarily have a list, but I that was one of the things we did for outreach, and we had a bunch of bookstores that ended up getting the book, which was great.
Okay. Final question before I let you go here, because we are running a little bit late. The film company that you have, was that started to support your marketing company, or was that a separate thing? Is film your next, being a documentary filmmaker or reality television film company? Is that your next venture in life, or is that just to support your marketing company?
Well, we've had the marketing company now for about 15 years, and this year we decided that we just really loved video, and it's such a big part of marketing that we just decided to launch a second company that was dedicated to video, and then we got booked up pretty quickly with video shoots, and so I really think we're probably going to go in that direction.
Very cool. Well, good luck with that. We wish you, and if there's anything we can do to support that, and if you have any films that you would like to help promote, please do come back here and let us know about them, and we'll let people know about them. The book is called The Story About Pizza. Uh, and Erica, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for being here. And if there's anything that we can do to help support the book in the future, just drop me a line. I will be happy to let people know about it.
And tell Mike to get some help. Tell Mike to get some help. It's about time. You can't be cutting off half the pizzas out there because they're not round. He needs therapy. He needs help.
Yes.
If he wants to come on the show and talk about it, we'll try to talk him through it. No.
Yeah. Are you going to keep talking, or can I say goodbye?
You can say goodbye, but I'm going to keep talking anyway.
Okay. Have a great day, Erica. Thank you for being here.
Thank you all. It's great to meet you guys.
Thanks, Erica. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. GD, you want to keep talking now? No. Now you don't want to keep talking. I got to take the book.
I'm waiting for the book to move. I don't want to insult.
I'm going to take the book. Hold on. Well, why don't you take the book out? You know how to do it, don't you? Like that.
Yeah, just swipe it. Just swipe right. That's it.
All right.
This isn't Grinder. Calm down.
The Amazon link is in the description. A story about pizza. It's not really about pizza, though, is it? That's kind of a misnomer. It's not really about pizza. It's about family history, isn't it?
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm impressed with you, Matt.
What do you mean?
You are not the pervy old guy that I've come to love.
I'm not.
Not today, you aren't. Dude, listen, I was getting messages from people saying, "Oh my God, she's hot," and I was waiting for you, and you didn't do anything, and I'm very proud of that. Good job,
She was a very attractive young lady. But,
very attractive young lady.
We're not supposed to be talking about that kind of stuff. We have somebody in the chat room called Toilet Bowl Food Review. Is that like a new podcast?
I think it's Ian, because he's not here again.
What makes you think that?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Ian doesn't change. He doesn't change his YouTube profile. Like that's not an easy thing to do. I don't think, to go in and change your YouTube handle.
Oh man, you don't want to. I have 3. Oh God, it's a horror story. It's a fucking horror story. I lost all kinds of I lost views, subscribers when I was doing it. I was trying to consolidate my videos into one place because I didn't realize. Yeah, it was. Oh
the
my
link
God.
to your channel will change too, because I have like that
Yes.
at Mind Dog. That will be irrelevant if I change it, right? Not that Ian's not a content creator, so I don't think that's necessarily a concern for him. But I don't know. I don't think it's an easy thing to do.
It is. It's
Anyway.
almost impossible. It's almost like you need an act of Congress and an act of God, and you need the two of them to work together.
You can create
That'll never happen.
You can create a Gmail and a YouTube in 5 minutes.
No, I'm not talking about creating. You can, yes, and that was my problem. The problem is trying to like I said, I didn't realize I had created another YouTube channel when I added another Gmail account.
Oh yeah.
And so I upload a video and it'd go to one or the other depending on which one my computer felt like it was logging into. And then I realized my stuff was all over the place. I went to consolidate it and I lost the views, I lost subscribers, I lost my way, I lost a lot of shit.
Did you lose your virginity?
Probably.
No, they fucked me over that long before.
Okay.
I was fucked
I'm going
long
to play the news, and Jeffrey Weinstein, not related to Eric or Brett, will be here soon.
Harvey? Related to Harvey?
Well, Harvey Weinstein? Harvey, maybe, I don't know. I didn't ask about that. I should have.
Luigi Mangione has enlisted veteran attorney and former New York City prosecutor Karen Friedman Agnifilo to represent him in his murder case.
Did he get
Friedman
one of those
Agnifilo,
names
who
right?
served as the Manhattan District Attorney's Office second in command from 2014 to 2021, brings extensive experience to the case. Her law firm biography highlights her work on high-profile violent crime cases, including those involving mental health issues and cold case homicides. Liam White reporting.
President-elect Donald Trump emphasized grocery prices as a central theme in his 2024 campaign, pledging swift action to lower costs for American families if re-elected.
In an interview with Time magazine where he was named Person of the Year, Trump acknowledged the difficulty of this promise, calling it a very hard task. When asked if failing to deliver on reducing food costs would mark his presidency as a failure, Trump replied, "I don't think so." Lawrence Keller reporting.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol was impeached on Saturday following his controversial and short-lived martial law decree.
The impeachment motion passed in the National Assembly after 12 lawmakers from Yoon's own party joined the opposition. The final vote tally was 204,
How come
85,
Carl
with 3 lawmakers
is,
abstaining and
doing
8 votes
voiceovers
ruled
for
invalid. Yoon
Al
had narrowly
Edwards.
escaped impeachment just a week earlier, as nearly all members of his
Haven't
ruling
heard from
People
Carl
Power
in about a
Party
month.
boycotted the initial attempt.
I have.
Benjamin Wright reporting.
You have? Oh, yeah, you were in a show. People think you were
I
in a
haven't,
show.
I haven't been on a show yet.
Headlines.
Is that the latest news headlines? Is there more, Al? Or we're done? Are we done, Al? Al? Wake up, Al.
Sean Diddy Combs has withdrawn his appeal to seek release on bail, according to a newly filed court document.
How unusual
Combs'
is that?
attorney notified the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals of the decision
And why?
to abandon appeals
Think
against
about
previous
this.
rulings denying bail. Mr. Combs does not seek to appeal the district court's
He
denial
wants to
of his
stay in
renewed
jail?
motion, and hereby moves to voluntarily dismiss the appeal, the filing stated. The document also includes a signed statement from Combs, affirming his understanding of the consequences of dismissing the appeal. Jim Kender reporting.
2 Americans were fatally shot in Mexico. Their bodies discovered in a pickup truck, officials confirmed.
The couple was found Wednesday night in Angamacutiro, located in Michoacan's western region. After authorities responded to reports of gunfire, the state attorney general's office said. A woman was declared dead at the scene, while a man succumbed to his injuries later at a nearby hospital, according to officials. Kyle Norris reporting.
16 people were hospitalized after 2 airboats collided in Florida, according to investigators.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission said officers responded to the crash near Ochope following a call at approximately 3:15 p.m. The collision involved one boat carrying 13 passengers and another with 20. The commission added in a statement. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Jeff Weinstein's scared, but I want to... Stop that! Fucking Al. Al, you're fired. Why would somebody choose to stay in jail? I mean, drop your appeal to get bail. That doesn't make any sense to me. Unless he's just finding it really cozy in jail. I don't know. I mean, got any thoughts on it?
Maybe he's had threats made on him and he feels safer in there.
You think that's because that's the only reason? Like, you'd have to be.
What else would
but
there
he's
be?
Diddy. He can hire security, right?
I don't know, man. I mean, at this point, it sounds like anyone connected to him is going to be in trouble. I wouldn't work for him.
Ron, you've been in jail and denied bail. What's your take on this?
I think it's just probably a strategy on his part for some reason.
Or he's getting tons of ass and he's happy.
I bet you he is getting tons of ass.
He's giving tons of ass, probably, would be my guess.
And that's all one guy, that Tons. The big fat
his
guy.
name's Tons. It's his cellmate.
There was another allegation that dropped late last week with Diddy, and
you make it sound like a beat.
How he raped 3 guys.
Really?
Yeah.
At once? First of all, raping a guy is not as easy. Take it from somebody. It's not as easy. I know. It's not as easy as raping a woman. Let's face it. I mean, it's got to be. First of all, there's only one hole you can get in, right? And it's a tight little thing, tight little space.
Depends on how much you eat Taco Bell.
Size is relative.
So raping one guy would be difficult, but 3 guys. I mean, especially if they're all at the same time, you got to be like superhuman, right? Or no?
Drugs.
Come on, you guys that are ass raping.
3 men accused him last week.
Dude, this is
3
wild.
men all at the same. I mean, did they all come out with the? Did they all go together? Like, remember when he raped us? It's like you 3 saying I raped you. I mean, that was consensual, by the way. But I wouldn't be surprised if you 3 got together and like went to the police
only
department.
Consensual. You say consensual, and I say I didn't really have much choice because you had me cornered between you and a fucking staircase.
All right.
Yeah, there's a security guard that claims that Sean Combs assaulted him while a celebrity watched.
Security guard.
There's another one that a man alleges Sean Combs drugged and raped him during a meeting at a New York hotel.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's the security guard one that gets me. Okay, and Ron was like, you make it sound like you said drop more accusations. Drop like he's dropping beats or something. You know,
So
dropping.
New single is out. I did it again.
Well,
Listen, there's
pretty
nothing
much-
funny about rape. Okay. All right.
I
Let's talk
agree.
more about it. All right. No, I'm just I'm
you
talking in case anybody heard me laughing.
Do you think P. Diddy, when he was younger, had trouble with spelling, and he got rapper and raper confused?
I don't think there's any confusion. I think
Really,
that's
that bombed. Let me. You bring up security guard. Now, this is a true story. Back when, like I was probably 20 years old or something, my friend's father ran a security company. And there was a security. It was at Siemens. It was at Siemens Furniture warehouse. You were the outdoor guard. There was this little shack there, and the guy who was a security guard claimed there was a dude who he was out on bail and for rape or something, and the guy came over in the middle of the night and at gunpoint raped the security guard. And so they couldn't get another security guard to go do the shift. And he called me. He's like, you're not afraid. You'll do it, right? I was like, yeah, for double the amount. And double the amount then was like $10 an hour. I think the guy was getting paid $5 an hour to get ass raped. But so I went there, and I was a little bit nervous, I have to admit. But I'm in the shack now, and I'm like, I got the doors locked, and all of a sudden, my buddy Frank shows up, and he just he just bangs on the window, goes, drop your pants, white boy! And I screamed like you could still hear me screaming from it's still echoing through the fucking cosmos. That's how loud I screamed. But yeah, it was, but there was a ongoing joke then, about Siemens, and, you got to see Siemens first and before the guy rapes you, whatever. Security guard. The security guard seems to be like I don't know, a very perverted, weird occupation. There's a lot of shit going on in security houses, whatever they are, bunkers. Bunkers is what they are. So, thanks for reminding me of that. What are you reading? You're reading security guard rape news?
Yes, I am. Are you talking to me or
I was actually
Steven?
looking up. I was looking up toilet bowl food review, and he does do food reviews on the shitter.
I do want to. Wow, that's very cool. I do want to get to Jeffrey, but I've been trying to. I said to you guys, I don't want to talk about this dope who reviewed this program on his little podcast, but I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to make a video response to that, because here's my take on it briefly, just so you guys are aware where I'm coming from. I think his criticisms of me personally were spot on. I am an old dude playing radio show host on the internet every day and all that kind of stuff. The stuff he talks about where I'm just constantly working it with the layout here, that's because people are coming and going, and StreamYard just doesn't hold it seamlessly.
Yeah,
when we add somebody, things jump around. So I'm constantly doing that. All those criticisms about me were right. But here's the thing where I think he's way off base. He's criticizing Jackie, first of all, as saying a new low in Jackie's career. Like, what? Jackie doesn't do this for his career, first of all. He does it because him and I are friends. We've known each other for a while, and he truly enjoys doing this. This is for fun for him. And his career, he has done more with his career. He's almost 80 years old, and he's still far more successful right now than that guy will ever be in his entire life. And the guy is just like got a real hard on for people who were on the radio in the 90s. So Opie and Anthony and Howard Stern and Stuttering John and Jackie and all. He follows them around like a stalker, like an obsessed loser who's got nothing to do but feel like he has to tear down the people he grew up listening to try to get attention. So fuck that guy. And when he took shots at the three of you, even minor shots at the three of you, felt like that's off base too. Like, he's talking about being over funny and not realizing how they're not funny. His comments on his YouTube channel are all his fans saying, boy, how self-unaware is that? This guy, he's talking about himself and he doesn't even know. He's not funny at all. Guy who's never done anything with his life and dedicates his life to just being negative, and has basically, the same size channel that I have, which is pathetic because I'm 65 years old doing this. So fuck him. That's all I got to say. I will be doing a video about that, though. Jeffrey Weinstein has been on the program before. He's from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and I'm going to mess with the layout right now. Jeffrey, welcome back.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me back on.
It looks like you have a cape. Are you like Superman or something? Oh, maybe it's just that green screen thing that's going on back there. It looked like you were wearing a cape. I saw some. Anyway, how are you? What's new in the world of stand-up comedy in Montreal?
Yeah, it's always changing. It's evolving. More shows. There's a new comedy club that just started a couple of weeks ago in downtown Montreal. So they're just kicking that off with starting with Saturday night shows, and then they're going to expand into like more shows during the week. So
now,
yeah.
Let me ask you, on your friends list on Facebook, I see a lot of comedians that I know. They're all states-based comedians, United States-based comedians. It's just weird. Like, do you perform in the States? Do you know any of these people personally, or have you performed with them, or do you just know them?
Just from online, because during COVID, I did online shows, online podcasts, and online comedy shows. So that's how I got to know a lot of people, a lot of American comedians from the States.
Are you familiar with any of these guys up here?
No.
No? You guys don't know each other? Wow, that's weird, because they're tied into all those people that I see who you are friends with on there. Are you familiar with CD, help me out, I'm having a senior moment, Leanna Linsky, plausible.com?
No.
It's an online comedy club, right? Is that the best way to describe it, GD?
Yeah, sure.
Online comedy club?
Sure.
We try to support the people who've been on this program. She's got like a online. Are you doing any? Are the Zoom comedy a thing of the past?
I haven't seen. There's one I know that there's K. I don't know if you heard of KO Comedy from California. Out of California, I get emails from them like every week. So they're still doing it online. online shows, but not very many that I know of that I've seen. So.
Wow. So what? How often are you out and performing in? Do you leave Montreal at all? Do you tour Canada?
No, I left actually. I left Montreal. I went to Toronto. I was in Toronto April doing hitting open mics.
Wow.
So I hit a few open mic shows, and it was really good positive experience for me.
Did you meet Vinnie Vanelli?
Vinny, yes, I know him. Yes, how I met
Yeah.
Vinnie Vanelli actually was when I hosted a show for a friend. A friend was producing a show at a restaurant. It was a charity benefit for his niece, in fact, and the headliner was Vinny.
Wow.
And, yeah, and I've been in contact with him a little bit after since then.
He used to do a weekly spot on this program a couple of years ago. I don't know. I never heard from why he decided to stop that, but yeah, it was what it is. Have you performed in the States at all?
No.
Any desire to?
Not in the States. I'm thinking about it. Maybe, yeah. I mean, as a possibility. I'm not really sure.
Wow.
I'm not getting as much stage time now as I was like during the summer. It started slowing down in the fall. I'm not getting booked as much because there's just so many people. There's just so many new comedians coming on the scene, new young comedians coming on the scene. And,
yeah, it's difficult when it's oversaturated. But are young people getting stage time?
Yeah, a lot of them are getting stage time. Yeah.
Wow.
It's more young are getting stage time, less like over 50 or 55 getting stage time.
Yeah, that's
It's got to be difficult to kind of break through when you're definitely past 30. Even I think it's a young man's game. It's much like rock and roll. I mean, just seeing somebody who's older gives a certain impression to the audience. They expect you better be experienced and really have your ducks in a row and be like a professional. You can't come off as a newbie at 35 or older, right?
Well, the thing is, I think the median age is between 30 to 45 for a young comedian starting out between 30 and 45. If he's really good, if he's really funny, he'll get a lot of shots.
Right.
He'll get booked a lot. For the older comedians, from my own personal experience, and maybe some other older comedians find this, it's harder to connect, but you get mostly young audiences with 80% that are young audiences, like 35 and under. I mean, it's harder to connect to them. It's a harder time to connect with them than these younger comedians have. So
yeah. How long? How many minutes can you do? Like, can you do a half hour? Can you do 45 minutes and an hour? What's your?
I've done up to 40 minutes. When it was my own show and I headlined it. I made my own show, produced my own show, and I headlined in a small venue, and I've done 25 minutes.
Wow.
So I mean, have enough material for 25, 30 minutes. Yeah.
How do you make your own opportunities? Like, do you have to go out and guarantee enough ticket sales and all that kind of stuff? You got to get heavily into the promotions and marketing, or you're on your own.
No, I don't. I never got involved with it on really like at that level. It was just like small venues, small restaurants or bars type of thing, where but you really had to hustle to bring the people in. Sometimes comedians will bring in a few of their own people. Like headliner once brought in like 7 of his own friends, and but it's tough. It's tough. The younger ones do it and more successful at it. Number ones really know how to do it better, and they're more successful at it.
So. I don't think the younger ones know how to do it better per se. What I think is that, for example, when you start out comedy, the people who support you are usually your contemporaries. So like I started out at 55. My contemporaries are going to be late 40s, early 60s, people that I know. So a lot of them aren't coming out late at night. So, or, they're like, can't you do like a comedy brunch, or can't you do a 4 o'clock show?
Brunch, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that but the younger people, they're like, you're starting comedy, and they're like kind of excited, and they're excited by like a 5-minute set. After my contemporaries, the people that will come out to see me, they weren't going to come out to see me if I was doing less than 20 minutes. And when you're starting out, most people aren't going to come out to see you. You're not going to get 20 minutes when you're first starting, no matter how old you are.
Who's going to give you 20 minutes on
right?
Yeah.
Right. So, but that's how it was working out. Like my people, they were coming out like they wanted to see me do something, and they were also bored with like the younger people because like, my contemporaries are like 40s or 60s. They don't want to hear a bunch of young 20s and 30s talking about masturbating. And that's like, okay, yeah, right, okay, we've been through that. Let's do something funny, something that requires a little thought. So I don't think that the younger people are doing it better. I just think that their audiences, they have more friends that are willing to come out. Our friends have lives. They have to get up early and go to bed early, or pee. Schedule their pee time.
Interesting, because in rock and roll, if you bring out the people, the promoter or whoever's night it is going to give you special deference. So, like, if in your case, people coming out to see you specifically, if enough of them come out, they're going to give you that 20 minutes because you brought the people there. And so there's that part of it.
I could do that, but as like in the beginning, my first 2 to 3 years, I could do that. But as I was getting older, so was my quote contemporaries.
It's a thing when you first start out, all your friends and family will come to see you, but that number starts to dwindle after like 3 shows, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, we've seen it.
Right.
Okay,
and the younger people seem to think that okay, he's an old guy, he's not going to be, he's not going to talk about things relevant to me, which is not necessarily true. They don't know unless they listen. So
I've never. When I was really working and coming up, I never invited anyone out to see me.
Wow.
Because why would you? Because your first couple of years are horrific, and then what'll happen? Someone will come out and see you, then they'll just see you that one time. So then when you run into them in the future and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I'm kind of getting that. I'm starting. It's starting to dawn on me now as I'm doing this painting show. I'm not promoting it because I know I'm going to fuck up, and I don't really want people watching yet. It's more like practice until I get it really where I feel like I can impress somebody. I'm not going to promote it, so I'm not telling people to come by. That's a whole different.
I was in a slightly different situation where when I started my first 6 months, I was in Florida, and so when we moved to Maryland, the people who saw me in Maryland for the first time was seeing somebody who'd been doing comedy for half a year already. But at that time, I was a former band performer. So I had stage presence. So it's not like I was a rookie just hitting the stage for the first time. So Maryland, when I first started in Maryland, they were getting a different view than just some young guy who was just first time on stage. Like, no, I've been on stage for a while as a musician, but still, so it was
That's
different.
a whole different thing.
It's different, but you still learn tricks of the trade. You still learn how to captivate an audience. You still learn how to engage people. And
I know of a couple of comedians who started out in music as musicians, music performer, and then they went into comedy. One of them continued on, dropped the music, just stayed in comedy, and is excelling. He's hosting a regular show, and he's booked on a lot of shows, hosting a lot of shows, doing really, really well. Yeah. And the other one who's she did it for a while, and she was doing well, but then she dropped it. She dropped out of comedy and just stuck to the music. So.
Yeah. A lot of crossover there between music and comedy. John Beavers, who makes a comment here that I think is kind of relevant to what GD was talking about, and the idea that I was having in my head is, when you first start out, you're performing open mics, not necessarily for people who are there to see you. At some point in your development, if you're going to make it in comedy, you have an audience who is specifically there to see you, and that I think that changes not only what you can do material-wise, but your confidence and your ability to kind of connect to them, because they are there to see you. They're not there just for comedy and whoever comes up, and now they're being a little less, I don't know, judgmental. I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's easier to impress people who are there specifically to see you than to just kind of relate to an audience who is just there for comedy and doesn't know you from a hole in the wall.
Yeah, and I like new audiences who aren't familiar with me. But on the other hand, people who know me know what to expect. They know that I'm going to do like one or two jokes that are just bad, but only because they fit. So
yeah.
It is, but they know me. But people who don't know me don't know what to expect, and so they're like, "Oh, that was a bad joke." It's like, yeah, but I don't mind telling a bad joke. It fits.
Before I start getting bad reviews about talking about the layout here, I should put out the idea that when somebody leaves the room, they should give me some notice so we can change the layout before they actually just push out of the room and screw things up, because then I get the bad reviews for, oh, look, he doesn't know how to.
That's like a quarterback throwing a good pass. The receiver drops it, and the quarterback gets the blame for incomplete pass. Like, no, the receiver dropped it. That should be called an error, not
like I don't know if you know this, but some people call me Matt Tom Brady Mind Dog Napo. I don't know if you were aware of that, but the Tom Brady thing is part of my. You didn't hear about that?
I thought they'd call you Matthew Brady after the attorney.
Okay.
Scope. Okay, people who don't know, Google it.
Yeah, Google it. So yeah, now Montreal is kind of, you got the big comedy festival up there. Is it a big comedy town?
Yeah. There was because Just for Laughs left for the first time last summer. So, but they had other festivals. We had one big promoter in Montreal who organized with connections, organized like a big festival. Not quite as big as Just for Laughs, but pretty big.
Who's big? Because I think Sean Collins is somebody I follow on social media. I think that's his name. But he's a guy who sits on a stool drinking. He seems, I appreciate his. I think Sean Collins is his name. But I'm trying to figure out who are the big Canadian comedians. Like in music, I can name you 1,000 really good Canadian acts. I'm not sure I can in comedy. Who's the big names in Canadian comedy?
Oh,
see, you don't even know, and you're from there.
Tommy
Chong is kind of like 50 years dated.
Maple Sticky, I think that's one, right?
Who?
You wouldn't hear
Sticky.
Joey Elias is very big in Montreal, and he tours across Canada. There's another one, Sugar Sammy.
So there's nobody like on the same level, like say Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, like those big names. No, I can't think of any like rock star comedians that are from
Sugar
there,
Sammy is very close. Sugar Sammy is on that level or very, very close to the level. He's not. It's just that he's not as well known. He's toured across Canada, across US, and even in Europe.
So, now, is he maple sugar or is he like sugar cane? What kind of sugar is he? I'm just curious.
What do you think that is, though? I mean, obviously, music acts can make a big splash in the States, and we know those people. But it's very rare that I can't even think of, like, even in the past, where Canadian comedians have. I can see, the Second City people, I guess.
Yeah, Rick Moranis.
That's again 30, 40 years ago, right? Something like that. I mean, I know there's funny people up there.
And of course, Howie Mandel.
Oh, Howie Mandel, yeah. So again, but we're talking,
Carey.
yeah,
Howie
not a lot
Buzzkind,
though.
like
Ryan Reynolds,
Who?
but he's not stand up.
He's also not a comedian, really. I mean, he does funny movies.
Right. Wow. So yeah, it's just an enigma to me. Like, why don't we know more about? Because the Montreal Comedy Festival is one of the biggest ones in the world. You would think, more stand-ups would come from that are actual Canadian citizens who see, the opportunity to make more money in the U.S.
To
or
promote
whatever.
it takes a lot to promote a comedian, and maybe there's just like in the States, there's more money, so they could do a better bang up job promoting their comedians.
Okay. I just did I did a list of top Canadian comedians.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the whole list, but the first 4 are all dead. Oh no, I'm sorry. 3 of the first 4 are all dead. Jim Carrey is listed as number 2.
Jim Carrey, has he ever? I don't remember him doing stand up. Has he done stand up?
Yeah, he used to do stand up back in the day.
I think he started doing stand up before he went into films. Yeah.
We're talking about him last week.
The Comedy Store. He came up through the Comedy Store back in the day.
All right. Yeah. So he's not dead, but he ought to be.
Yeah, that's I made a mistake. I said dead.
He feels like he's dead.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
He feels dead.
And he needs money. Didn't he just start doing something again because he needs the money? What is it that Jim Carrey?
That's, you know what? Just because you're bad at managing. Listen, I'm bad at managing money, but if you made those kind of millions and you just need the money, it's the worst reason to be doing art in any form. It's just because I need the money.
But it's an honest reason. It may not be a good reason, but it's an honest reason.
Yeah, no, to say it definitely requires
painfully honest.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to say it from the stage. Hey, how you doing tonight, everybody? I'm just here for the money. That's probably not a good opening line.
Depends on the venue. If you're doing a stadium, you can say that. But if you're doing, let's say, what's that place in Hannibal called? I can't remember now. The Church of Satire, which was like 60 people. And you're saying I'm doing this for the money. It doesn't make sense.
Church of Satire is getting a bunch of Long Island people there now, like Governor's regulars and McGuire's regulars are doing shows there.
It's like an exchange program, I think. Yeah.
We don't. Why? Nobody's sending Pennsylvanians over to here.
No, I think Jim is working on a package deal to try to get some people up in Governors and.
On January 24th, we are sending a couple of one Pennsylvania. Guy over there, Long Island, right?
Yeah, and I'm Pennsylvania adjacent. I spend Pennsylvania adjacent.
I like that. Yeah. So
Jeffrey, where we live, I'm closer to. If I didn't live in Maryland, I'd be closer to Pennsylvania than any other state.
Yeah. Jeffrey, what the glasses? Last time I think you had yellow glasses on. How many pairs of those big frame glasses do you have, and how many different colors?
Well, like these, I have these. I have yellow, I have blue, and I have red.
Is that your
and I have navy.
Is that like your thing? Like some people have a catchphrase. The glasses is your thing.
When I'm doing stand up, I wear to perform. I wear yellow glasses. On the computer, these are more for computer and reading, so I wear these.
Interesting. Are you familiar with the Young Turks network?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cenk Uygur.
Anthony Jeselnik was on there. I don't know who that guy was who was interviewing him. It's not one of the regular Young Turks people, but he was talking about cancel culture being such a frigging hack. Like people who talk about cancel culture, he said the people who talk about it are the people who have absolutely nothing to fear from it. Like they have no careers at all. But it's like the most overstated thing he's talking about. That I thought that had run its course and been done. a couple of years ago. Is it a thing where you are in the clubs around Montreal? People still complaining about cancel culture?
No, I don't. I don't hear much, if any of that
That
at
that's my
all. I mean,
that's my perception of it here
yeah.
too, and I don't know why he's still.
There's like people who don't have any skin in the game, have nothing to lose. Like,
Right.
they could talk and criticize and critique, and that is usually, usually is like.
Well,
And
what he was
they don't know
saying,
what to talk about. I mean,
he was talking about, and he's not shy about naming names. Like, it's one thing for Dave Chappelle to complain about how difficult cancel culture is making it, while he's making millions of dollars and making more money than he ever did, and he just all he does is complain about cancel culture, which is kind of disingenuous and all this stuff. It's just kind of using it as a prop. But then the other people who have absolutely no career complaining about cancel culture, like, listen, you want to get in trouble. I just like to get your perspective on this, because I think that what he's saying is absolutely true. I think in comedy, you want to be known as a guy who's dangerous, especially when you're starting out. Like, danger or bad boy or whatever the label is a good thing for your career, right? It's good to be known as somebody who's pushing boundaries and being edgy. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
certain producers, like I know one big producer who stays away from that, because I know one comedian, and especially a few years ago, very, very edgy, and he never got booked on his shows. He tries to avoid it. He stays away from that. Too edgy. Because certain audiences in Montreal are very, very sensitive.
See, if I knew somebody who was considered too edgy, I'd be bending over backwards to try to get him on this program. That's who I want to talk to.
Now, I have a theory about. It just occurred to me. Popular comedians or comedians that have been around, well-known comedians who complain about cancel culture. I'm beginning to suspect that they're using it as an excuse not to do certain things. Like, I could be funnier if I weren't afraid to, if people weren't constantly challenging everything I say or analyzing everything I say. It's like, I could be better, I would be funnier, but I have to tame down my routine now because of cancel culture. Cancel culture. That's what I'm thinking. I think
there's something to that. I think you're probably onto something there. With some people, it's like an excuse to not be edgier than they are.
And sometimes it's because maybe they don't have the material. I mean, let's face it. To be honest, at some point, if you're not truly good at crafting new material, you're going to run through the shit that you have already done in your head. And if you don't know how to make new stuff, now but you still want to make a living at it. It's going to say, well, I would be better if I could say nigger. I would be better if I could say wop, because I need those words. But, it's...
Well, part of the problem is everyone has an opinion now, and not everyone should have an opinion. Because, like, on Friday night, we did a show, and there was a birthday party there, and they weren't expecting comedy. So that tells you one thing. Yeah, there was this large group of people. But anyway, I heard from the venue the next day. They complained about one of the comics of all, and the comic they were complaining about surprised the hell out of me, because I'm like,
it wasn't Damien.
No, he was no. They said it was Jeff, and it's like, really? He was kind of like the easiest. Like, but apparently it got uncomfortable because they didn't like that Jeff asked them a couple sex questions, and it wasn't anything that bad. He was just trying to keep shit moving.
Yeah.
So
I think
the lines are always moving, and cancel culture. You just do whatever the fuck you want. No one cares. People are going to cry no matter what.
I agree. I do think that pulling comedy on people as a surprise is never worked out.
No, that's partly their fault, though, because it was advertised at the venue, and we told them, we gave them a warning, like, hey, this is happening. So
Yeah.
So, Ron, were you hosting that night?
Yeah, I was on Friday.
And they didn't complain about you. They complained about, because let's face it, your material is a little bit
I haven't noticed.
Your humor is the Wesley Snipes of humor. It's the dark. It's dark. It's black.
So he doesn't pay his taxes? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's dark.
Yeah, but when I'm hosting, I don't push it that dark, because when you're hosting, that's a different animal. But it's
Jeffrey,
surprising.
are you edgy?
It is still very surprising that
At times, I've been edgy.
In what way? Political or sexual, or where do you go with the darkness and stuff?
Political. Yeah.
Really? In Canada, what is considered? Because I think I always appreciate comedy that jabs at the power structure. But what would that be in Canada? I know what it looks like in America right now. But most comedians, sadly, I think I shouldn't say most, but a lot of comedians are not taking jabs at the power structure. They're becoming establishment comedians, even though they think they want to claim anti-establishment type of status, but they are becoming definitely more in line with the in America, the right wing power swing, and it seems like they're catering to popular political stances rather than being punching up on political stuff. What does it look like? What does edginess look like in Canada? Is it because I don't know. I hear it's very left wing, and then we have people on from Canada who seem to be extremely right wing. What does it look like?
There's still not enough comedians that are doing any kind of comedy that's any type of political critiques at all. Like I've done jabs at Trudeau and his government, and but
he's considered left, though, right? Or is he not?
He's like woke left. I call him like woke. That whole government, the whole party, just about is woke left. So, it's like they say. Okay, I'll put it to you this way. It was sort of like the political equivalent of like the Democrats with Kamala Harris.
What does that mean? Oh, yeah, I get what you're talking about, the equivalence here. But I don't know of anybody who has the label woke who calls themselves, well, I shouldn't say, I know some people, but not a lot of people who have been tagged with the label of woke, who consider themselves woke. I just, I think having empathy for people and not wanting to infringe on somebody's rights just because you disagree with them is what people call as woke. It's not like, because my wife is very right wing, and she would think, if you listen to her, she thinks that the people on the left are trying to make everybody abort their babies when they don't want to. People who are not looking for an abortion, we're trying to convince everybody to murder their babies, or we want everybody to be transsexual or whatever. It's like I don't see.
We're just trying to encourage conservatives to abort their babies.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yes.
But it's the authoritarian slant of the left. At a certain point, the left is not the left anymore, because liberalism, the left started out as being anti-right-wing authoritarianism. But now they've got all mixed up.
Yeah, I'm all mixed up right now. I mean, how is wanting people to have the right to do something authoritarian? I'm just, I just want to, for understanding purposes here, like understanding that some people have the right. People have the right to live the life as they want to do. How is that? It's not like we're saying everybody should do that or everybody has to do that, right?
No, that's libertarian.
Where does the authoritarianism idea come from with what you call woke?
It's control, that these people need special protection. You're not allowed to criticize them. your free speech will be censored if you speak out against them. And now it's crazy speaking out against the government, criticizing government policies. They're trying to crack down on that and censor that and make laws against that.
Are they?
You're thinking of the next administration. Yeah. But I have a question real quick. It's because as a Canadian, are you guys? And
you say Canadian or comedian?
Canadian. Now, this is your opportunity to speak for all of Canada, okay? Are you guys going to miss Jordan Peterson? Because apparently he's trying to, move to the U.S. and become like one of us. But not one of us. He wants to work in the Trump administration.
I didn't hear about that. Nobody told me about that. I'm going to cry.
So, are you going to miss him? Are you guys going to miss Jordan Peterson?
Well, I think I think I would like I have agreed with a lot of his positions on the culture and society and government and so forth and about Trudeau. Majority of Canadians don't really support him that much.
How did he get elected if that's the case?
So. No, I mean Jordan Peterson. They don't support Jordan Peterson's views. But, our electoral system is such that even somebody who will lose in a popular vote, if they can still get enough seats to gain power. So
it's Canada seems like it's screwed up as the United States with this whole it's divided as the United States right now? Do you think or is it more one way than the other? Like significantly more? Because I think I know people talk about Trump winning on a landslide. He didn't win the landslide. I think he won the popular vote by less than 1% at this point. But I think it's pretty much 50-50 divided. What do you think in Canada?
It's more polarized now with Trudeau in the last 2 or 3 years, especially, than it has ever been in Canadian politics.
Wow!
Now, people are speaking out and mobilizing. So.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not like truly. I'm not truly adverse in the way the parliamentary electoral system works. But like in the U.S., we basically have two parties. Okay, and you could be a total loser, but if you win the electoral college, that's it. You don't have to compromise. But with the parliamentary system, you could lose. But if you can form an alliance with another party, you could become the prime minister or president of the country, correct? So that means you have to take other views into consideration if you don't have a big enough party. Like here, we only have two parties. But there you could have like 6 parties, and you could have the weakest party, like the 7th most populous party. But if you form an alliance and compromise with some of the other parties, you can attain leadership. Is that correct? Is that a correct assessment?
Well, that's exactly what happened with the Liberal NDP coalition.
So in that case, that means the other parties, even though they're not liberal, they're saying we can work together.
Yeah,
we can.
They made a deal. They made a deal that they will not side against him in a non-confidence vote, as long as certain of their policies, what they want, go through.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So it's not necessarily a woke agenda then, because you have other groups that necessarily are not woke saying, okay, we can work with you, we're compromising. And that's how government's supposed to work, right? Government's supposed to have people of differences coming together and compromise to do something for the people. That I'm just saying, I could be totally wrong about how it works in Canada, but that's how it works in my head, which is not Canada.
But you see, this NDP leader, while supporting an authoritarian authoritarian government, and he is politically supporting them, at the same time criticizing him, and will not vote against him in a non-confidence vote, because he wants to, like, he just cares about his pension. He doesn't, he's not really that prepared to go into an election right now. and he wants just for now keep the status quo. But time is running out. They're going to have to call an election by next fall. So.
Well, with the exception of Joe Biden, that just seems to be what people in power do. Most people in power don't want to step down. So the exception of Joe Biden, and in England there was a prime minister that stepped down.
Yeah.
And everybody, you're listening to Dry It Up with GD Fenderson.
Really? Yeah. But I'm interested on the comedy club level now. Does political comedy work up there? I mean, if you're going to do politics, does the crowd? Because it seemed like you were talking about cracking down on free speech, and that seems like a very weird thing, especially for working in comedy clubs. Does it work in comedy clubs doing political humor?
Yes, it absolutely works because the people, the audience are not stupid. You'll get audience people who they're smart, they're sharp, they're quick. They'll catch the nuances and the premises, and I did a crack that criticized American foreign policy in Syria and Iraq and Libya, and yeah, I mean, they absolutely got it. So it does work, but it's not. But it's more people. These young comedians tend more towards like personal sexual humor and dating and other things that are non
kind of like Ron. Ron loves that sex stuff. He's a dirty sex fiend comedian. Why do we're getting close to where we have to say goodbye? But why do you think that these you guys don't have an alien problem? I mean, I'm not talking about Mexicans or people from south of the border. I'm talking about drones. And why do you think they only care about the United States? You don't have any drone problems up there, do you? Like UFOs and things coming to visit you up there?
Not like this. I mean,
so it's like not like the alien. It's not like people from another universe. It's just saying, okay, United States and New Jersey is the Garden State is the place to go. Well, fuck Canada, fuck Mexico. We're just going to New Jersey, right? So it doesn't make any sense.
They all want to see Snooki.
I'd want to go to Toronto if I were from like Planet Oo or something. Toronto seems like a nice city to go to. Big difference between Montreal and Toronto, culture-wise.
It's bigger. There's differences in culture because, like, no French,
right?
And there's been a lot of immigration in Toronto. I don't find the culture in Toronto as lively as in Montreal. Which is I mean, if you want to live in a city that's so ethnically diverse with a lot of culture and language, Montreal's better. But Toronto is a big, to make the money, it's Toronto. It's a much bigger comedy scene.
You speak French?
Yeah.
Could you say something to GD in French? I know it turns them on. No, that doesn't sound French. That sounds like American. Anyway, it's time to move along. Thank you for being. I don't have a website. I mean, I have your Facebook page in the description. People can click on that. I don't have a website for you. Do you have a website?
Spectrum, just Google it's Spectrum Comedy Productions.
Okay,
that's my thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So you can go basically to your Facebook page. It's the best place to send people right now. That's where I know about you from. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for being here. Have a great day and enjoy the cold up in Montreal.
Okay, thanks.
Parlez-vous français? I don't know. All right, have a great day. Thanks. Bye for now. Thanks. I think it's time to say goodbye to Govs, right?
Yes.
How does Steven?
Goodbye, Govs.
Coming for you. How does Steven just work his way in? It's just not right. Yeah, let me say goodbye to Govs. You guys want to comment on the wokeness issue?